Welcome, Ramley. How are my Rams super fans doing today? What a time to be alive. What a time to be a fan of the LA Rams. After losing 6 straight games to the 49ers, we finally beat them 20-17 in the NFC Championship Game to punch our ticket to Super Bowl 56. Let's talk about it. We are not going to go too deep into the game because a few days has passed, and I'm sure everyone is listening and watched several recaps of the NFC Championship Game. But man, it felt great getting that monkey off of our back and booting the Niners out of the playoffs, and it couldn't have been in a better spot. As a diehard Rams fan, it did bring me a little joy seeing Deebo Samuel crying while leaving the field, but we stayed and celebrated. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna break down everyone's performance in the game because who cares? Everyone played good enough to get the win, and at this point in the season, that's all that really matters. I will say this, a lot of people are blaming the loss on the 49ers safety Tart for dropping that interception. And guys, that's just a horrible excuse. He dropped an interception, but the defense still allowed the Rams to drive 63 yards after that dropped interception so Matt Gay could kick the go-ahead field goal. Cooper Kupp and Ben Skoranek dropped surefire touchdown passes. I think Kupp would have scored a touchdown on his dropped ball, and Ben Skoranek was all alone in the end zone when he decided not to catch it. Oh yeah, and we can't forget about Jalen Ramsey dropping an interception. Things happen. Mistakes are made, but good teams persevere, and that's exactly why the Rams are going to the Super Bowl. Now, this defense has been playing lights out in the playoffs, really just playing on a completely different level. In their 3 playoff games, the Rams have only given up 162 rushing yards. That's 54 rushing yards per game, while also forcing 5 turnovers in those 3 games. And moving the ball throughout the air hasn't been easy either on this defense, only giving up 232 passing yards per game. This Rams defense is only giving up 18 points per game in the playoffs. And if it wasn't for the 4 fumbles in the Bucs game, the passing yardage and the points per game would be a hell of a lot lower. If this defense can give us just one more performance like this, there's no way we're not Super Bowl 56 champions. There's a few narratives going into the Super Bowl, and I'll touch on these a little in depth later on this week, but I just wanted to bring them up now. Narrative number 1, will this be Whitworth's last game? What a game it would be for the future Hall of Famer. Let's ride off into the sunset after winning a Super Bowl against his former team. And if God forbid the Rams do lose this game, will chasing a ring be enough motivation to get him to come back for another year? Or does none of that even matter? And does Whitworth want to play another season regardless of whether the Rams win or lose? Another narrative, and this might be my favorite one, will general manager Les Snead be able to tell the entire NFL world to kiss his ass after they all mocked him for trading away all his draft picks? Guys, we heard it all. This isn't how you build a team. We're ruining the future. This isn't a formula for success. In 3 years, you'll have no young talent to draw from. If you don't win a Super Bowl soon, then, Les Snead should be fired. But what if we do? What if the Rams do win the Super Bowl? I'll tell you one thing, Les Snead deserves to be on the podium just as much as Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, Sean McVay, and anybody else on this team. Because he's well deserving of this Super Bowl championship if we do get it done. And if the Rams win it all, will this cause more teams to follow suit? The NFL is the ultimate copycat league. If the Rams win it all, I can see several teams starting to do what the Rams did with their draft picks as soon as this offseason. And that's going to be a funny sight to see. I hope they don't, honestly, because our model works as long as we're one of the only teams doing it. If more teams follow suit, I can see it not having the same impact as it does now. Another narrative I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out is Odell Beckham Jr. playing his way out of LA. As everybody knows, Odell is a free agent at the end of this game, and he's been spectacular for us this season, especially with the absence of Robert Woods. His biggest game this year was in the NFC Championship. How amazing is that? He's also doing a great job erasing all of that Odell is a bad teammate stigma. I expect a few teams to throw a pretty hefty bag at Odell Beckham this free agency. And I just don't expect the Rams to have Kupp, Woods, and OBJ all under big contracts. That's just too much money going to the wide receiver position. But I do think there is a world that this is the first time Odell Beckham has been happy in his NFL career and he decides to stay and take less money. It's hard for me to imagine that happening since Odell will be 30 next season, and this will be his last chance at a decent sized contract. But time will tell. And if he has another big performance on the biggest stage of them all, with everyone watching, in my opinion, he's good as gone. Another narrative that's kind of crazy to think of, but does Matthew Stafford play his way into the Hall of Fame? As we all know, Stafford wasted away 12 years of his career in Detroit. I'm sorry, Lions fans, but you know it's true. Even with that, he still managed to be 12th all-time in passing yardage and 12th all-time in passing touchdowns. And with an older Matt Ryan being the only one above him on these two lists, it's safe to say Stafford will probably finish his career in top 8 all-time passing yards and touchdowns. Win or lose this Super Bowl, Stafford's future with the Rams is very bright. In just one season, he already managed to change the narrative that he can't win big games. I can easily see a league MVP favorite in the coming years with Brady gone and some of the other quarterbacks switching teams. If Stafford finds a way to win this Super Bowl ring and possibly a Super Bowl MVP award, the path to Canton is his for the taking. These are just a few things, guys, that I'm very excited to talk more in depth about going forward this week. Be on the lookout for my preview of the Rams versus Bengals in Super Bowl 56. Man, that sounds so good to say. This season has been nothing but pure excitement. There was a few low points, but man, winning wouldn't feel as good if it wasn't for the struggle. We went through it a few times. I loved every moment of it. I love going through this journey with you guys. There was a part of me that thought this would be impossible to get to just because it hasn't happened in so long. I am not taking the Bengals lightly. I know the Cincinnati Bengals was one of those teams that nobody expected to be here, but they're here and they're here for good reason. And I'm gonna break it all down to you guys shortly. So be on the lookout for the Rams and Bengals preview and prediction show coming soon. Thank you guys all for watching, and if you're interested in more Rams content, click right here.